Welcome to the Jenks and the Hammer podcast, bringing you the latest NFL news and insights from the perspectives of two die-hard fans. Join your hosts, Grayson Jenkins and John Hammerly, as they dive deep into the world of football, along with a special focus on the New Orleans Saints and the Green Bay Packers. So sit back, relax, and get ready for some football talk with Jenks and the Hammer.
And here we go!
Good morning, everyone. It is officially draft day.
Pandas are on the clock.
Feels like Christmas. Feels like Christmas. Today we got a good episode for you guys. We're going to be breaking down the Rodgers trade, of course, that finally took place. The winners, losers of that trade. And then we're going to be getting right into the Jenks and the Hammer 1.0 mock draft. So let's get right into it. And the first thing we got to jump right into is the Aaron Rodgers trade. Traded to the New York Jets. It's official. It's crazy. Like, you knew it was going to come, but for it actually to happen, for you to see Aaron, wearing that Jets polo at the press conference, sitting up there with the coaches and the organization, smiles, holding up the jersey, number 8. It's crazy. It's tough. It's a tough feeling. Had to happen. It was about time. The relationship was getting unhealthy, but it does kind of break your heart a little bit as a diehard Packer fan who, grew up watching them play. But yeah, let's get into the trade though. So here's the trade. The Packers and the Jets swapped first-round picks. Green Bay had 15, Jets had 13. They swap. Packers have 13, Jets have 15. Green Bay also got a second-round pick. They also received a 6th-round pick, and they have an unconditional second-round pick next year that can be a first if Aaron Rodgers plays 65% of the snaps next year for the Jets.
Let's be real.
So if he doesn't get injured, because we know he's not going to get benched, if he doesn't get injured, Green Bay gets a first. The Jets get Aaron, of course. They get number 15th overall, like I said, because they swap, and they get a 5th-round pick in this year's draft. Another big part of this trade was the contract, which is pretty big.
Yeah.
And I don't know, I'm not a nerd. I don't know the full numbers and everything, but from what I know is Green Bay's got to pay about – Aaron's going to be on the books this year for the Packers for about $40 million. And then after that, in 2024, he's off the books. They're free.
Yeah. Which
is awesome because he was guaranteed a lot more, these next 2 years and everything. So the Jets are going to have to pay him about $15 million a year this year. And then, they're going to take on whatever's left to that next year. So that's an awesome situation for the Packers to just be done with it by next year, We thought it was going to get dragged out longer, but for him to be off the books in 2024 is huge.
The weird thing was that swap, the first round swap. It just kind of seemed it seemed so unnecessary.
Not really.
Not
really,
it doesn't
because
help.
You know what? Green Bay. The Jets were going to hold on to that.
If he's gone, it's same thing.
But it's not about JSN. It's just the same thing. If you can move up, you're going to move up for free. And the Packers kind of knew that because they were the Jets weren't giving up that first-round pick. They weren't. But all right,
that was so.
We're going to move up a little bit,
too,
and you guys can have the 15th. So, yeah.
It's a good trade for the Packers, though.
It's good.
Let's be real. A lot of people
if
are saying,
if they want to trade back, and if they want to trade back, it just means more value they get in return, right? You're going to get more from pick 13 than you are from 15.
Yeah, at this point with Aaron Rodgers, he was leaving either way.
But
you got
the trade, honestly, in my opinion, I think it's a win-win. Truly.
Yeah.
Let's start from the Jets side. From the Jets side, you're getting Aaron Rodgers. This is the greatest player to ever put on a Jets uniform. You know what I mean? This is the greatest player to ever come to your franchise, right? We're talking about Aaron Rodgers, one of the best ever, top 5 all time, right? You get him. What does that mean? A Super Bowl window opens. Is it going to be a year? Is it going to be 2? Is it going to be 3? I don't know. But guess what?
he said
You have a chance to win a Super
he's
Bowl.
dedicated. Yeah, and I mean, he said today in the presser he's going to be here more than a year at least. So, but
yeah, if I
think,
had to guess two.
Yeah, I guess 2 years because I just don't see him play, especially if they don't make the Super Bowl in either of those years. I don't see him like deciding to suit up for that third season. Especially he's going to be pretty old. Like, to be honest, he's going to be
41.
pretty old. Yeah, he's already getting up there, and you can see the grays in the presser and everything like that. He's getting old, but like
He looked pretty
this guy.
good though.
All right,
He looked pretty
stop.
good. All right, hold on. Let's get right back into it though. The Jets, they get Aaron. Like we said, they get Aaron effing Rodgers. I mean, they don't get better than that.
Solid, yeah.
So with that, a Super Bowl window opens. With that, the trade, like, it works out for the Jets because when you really look at it, they're really just giving up basically a first-round pick for Rodgers. The swap doesn't factor in that much. You're just moving back 2 spots. You still get to keep that pick this year. We know they had 2 second-round picks this year because of the Elijah Moore trade. So you're giving one away. You still have one, so it's not like you know what I mean? It's not like you lost one. It's not like you're not picking in the second round. And then next year, yeah, I mean, you're going to lose a first rounder, but I think any team would lose a first rounder, a next year first rounder for a Super Bowl window for 1 year, maybe 2 with Aaron Rodgers, right? And that's a no-brainer.
And you compare it to the Broncos deal, like
for
Russell
close.
Wilson, like that's a steal for Aaron Rodgers for the Jets, but like the Packers are also getting a good trade in return. So I mean, all around, like you said, it's a win-win for both teams.
Absolutely. And now let's go to the Packers side quick. The Packers. Okay, so let's just picture this. Your 39-year-old QB said he was 90% sure he was going to retire. He said that walking off Lambeau Field. Then he said, like, I'm done playing for the Packers. On Pat McAfee show. Like, he said that. I'm not playing for the Packers. So then after that, like, just I'll play for anyone else, not the Packers. I'm done, right? So then after that, you would think the leverage is on the Jets side, right? I mean, he doesn't even want to be there. Like, there's no right?
Yeah.
So listen to this, Packer fans, like that at 39 years old, for someone who doesn't want to play, who was very close to retiring, you got to move up 2 spots in the first round. You got a second-round pick, and you got a first-round pick next year. Brian Gutekunst, you have outdone yourself. Outdone yourself. Like, that's an awesome trade for Green Bay. Like, you get these picks to build around Jordan Love. You're excited about Jordan Love, a first-round talent that you got 3 years ago that you believe in. 3 years on the bench, learning the scheme system, learning behind one of the greatest of all time. How are you not excited about that? With these picks, you got him. You have a good roster, as you know. Like, it's exciting. And, I mean, so to get that in return from, like that situation you win is huge. Huge. And then let's factor in the money. Like, I think give it 40 mil. All right. But what is this year for Green Bay, right? We know it's not a Super Bowl year, like, window for Green Bay, right? It's only 40 mil. And then next year you're done with him, like, totally off the cap. Like, I think Green Bay killed it. Slammed it out of the park. Like, what they got in return was awesome. Awesome. So, both sides did good. I mean, in my opinion, the Packers. But, I mean, hey, you're the Jets. You're giving up a first rounder for Aaron Rodgers. So, it's not that bad. But last thing I want to do before we get into the mock draft, I got to give just a tribute to Rodgers.
Give it to him.
Aaron is so special to me. Like, no, don't laugh.
I get it. Trust me, with Drew, like, it's the same. I mean, he didn't go to a different team, but like, it's the same thing. It's such a bittersweet thing.
Aaron's my man. He's the man. He's the GOAT. He's my GOAT forever. such a privilege to grow up like with him, like watching him just not even develop because he was just always a superstar, but yeah, develop, grow into the person he is, the superstar, the football player he is. To watch that every year, like growing up, he made me fall in love with the game. He made me fall in love with the Packers. Um, I can't describe the feeling I had every Sunday morning waking up knowing that I get to watch this guy go ball out. You know what I mean? For 2 hours.
Trust me, I can describe it, guys. I was his roommate. This guy every single Sunday,
Like
get up,
special.
all out Packers socks,
All
Packers
out.
pants, Packers jersey, everything. This guy would pace around the floor. He wouldn't sit down for the games. He couldn't sit down. Pace around the
Didn't
floors,
sit.
punch the wall a couple times during the Cardinals
Couple
Packers
times.
game. Woke up a couple people down the hall, but John's a loyal fan through and through for Rodgers. So
Yeah. But just the excitement you brought to me, you brought to my house, like me and my mom staying up. My mom would stay up with the games with me just to watch me because I was on watch at every game. You know what I mean? But
yeah,
staying up those Thursday night, Monday night, Sunday night games, the memories, the plays, like amazing. And I just smile that it happened. Don't be sad 'cause it's over, but like smile that it happened. And I'm so thankful to have you as my QB for so many years, not having to worry about, like all these Giants and Jets fans and all these go, I need a franchise QB. No, I had mine growing up, and it was so special to watch. Um, and
on to the
I
new
can't wait
era.
to see. I can't. Yeah, I mean, I'm excited about the new era, but it's tough. I wish you the best in New York. I don't want you to win a Super Bowl. I feel like
Yeah,
you
here's
only
the
have to win
question:
one.
would you cheer for
Nah,
him
nah,
if he
nah.
made the Super Bowl? That's the question.
If he made it, yeah, but I don't think he will. Um, but I could go on and on about him, for real. But special player, brought me hope. So many just amazing memories. So thank you, Aaron. You're the man. Good luck in New York, and I'll see you in Canton, Ohio, because I'm definitely making that trip when you are a first ballot Hall of Famer. I'm coming for that weekend, watching your speech and watching you get in that gold jacket. And yeah, I love you. You're the GOAT. And see you soon, buddy. See you soon.
Touching, John. Touching. All right, guys, jumping into a more exciting segment. I know that last one was a little bit sad, a little bit
It was
depressing,
exciting.
but it was needed.
Yeah.
John needed to get it off his chest. Last time wearing an Aaron Rodgers jersey, he's gotta get that out to Aaron Rodgers. But going on to something more exciting, we got the draft tonight. Everyone's hype. I'll be watching Kevin Costner and the Browns just dominate the draft in a couple hours. Draft tradition, I think John does it too. I think everyone does it. Who cares if it's a great movie or not?
Gotta watch it.
John,
Gotta watch it on draft day.
you gotta. Yeah, I mean,
You gotta.
a lot of
It's a
people say,
must.
"Oh, it's not that good, not realistic." I don't care. Bo Callahan's not my quarterback, and that's what matters. All right, John. Panthers are on the clock. Who you got?
Dun, 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 dun. This is an easy one. Bryce Young, QB,
It's too
Alabama.
easy. It's a
I
lock.
mean, he's a lock. We don't even have to talk about it, do we?
Yeah, nothing else to say. Nothing else to say.
All right.
And
We're
number
on the
two,
clock. Houston's on the clock. Go for it.
yeah, number two. I mean, there's been a lot of discussions, a lot of smoke screens, but I don't think it's going to affect this draft pick. At number two, Houston Texans is still going to take C.J. Stroud. They're going to get themselves a great quarterback for their franchise for the future. I think he's going to pan out. I think he's the most NFL ready right off the bat. Except for that test score, it's a little bit off-putting, but we'll see if he pans out.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. On the clock, number three, Arizona. This is definitely a spot to trade down if you're Arizona. They've been in trade talks, I know, with a number of teams, but if they stay where they are, I like Will Anderson, edge from Alabama. Seems like the clear cut, defense, safe pick. Arizona, gets a piece for that defensive line because they lost a bunch of those guys this offseason.
Yeah, and then at number four, this one it's an interesting. This one's really a coin flip. I think this is like the most unsure pick out of the top five. The Colts could take here available. They got Anthony Richardson, Will Levis, They could trade up. They could trade down. Who knows really what the Colts are going to do? This is really unsure. But we got him taking Will Levis at number 4. We think it's a great fit. He'd be able to develop behind Gardner Minshew, who's also kind of like he's kind of a gunslinger himself a little bit. So great guy for Will Levis to develop behind. I think it's a great pick.
Yeah, it's an interesting one, right? I mean, I don't like Will Levis.
Yeah, I don't think he's going to pan out. I don't think it's going to be that great. But I mean,
I think a lot of people think he can fall in this draft, which is definitely possible. But I don't know. I've been hearing that, we've been hearing that the Colts kind of like him. I think the Manning family likes him. Peyton with the Colts, I don't know. But yeah, we got Will Levis going at 4. Number 5, this one kind of seems like an easy pick to me. I know me and Jenks kind of went back and forth with it, but number 5, we got the Seahawks taking Jalen Carter. Best defensive prospect. Maybe not the safest, but definitely the best. Seattle needs that defensive line help. And, he falls to
really
them at 5.
Only question about him isn't even on the football field. So I think they'll be able to handle that situation. He'll mature with age. I think that situation is going to handle itself. So great pick for the Seahawks. And number 6, Lions need help on defense. They got a great offense already. They got Jameson Williams just got suspended for 6 games, but they do still have Amon-Ra. They got Jared Goff. They got a great team already. At number 6, we got him taking Devon Witherspoon out of Illinois. Great corner for him. Great physicality. Able to play the ball. Great corner all around.
Yeah. Yep. And then at number 7, the Raiders see what the Lions are building over there, and they're like, they got a corner. We gotta get a corner. Love this spot for him. I think I think both these guys go top 10, like we said. So at number 7, the Raiders are going to go Christian Gonzalez from Oregon. Probably, I think he's the best cover corner, and I love his size compared to Devon Witherspoon. But Witherspoon's got the physicality that Detroit loves. So
yeah, Dan Campbell biting kneecaps. He's got that for him. At number 8, we're going to take, for the Falcons, we're going to take Tyree Wilson from Texas Tech. Great edge for him. I'm a Saints fan, so I'd honestly be a fan of the pick. I think it's an all right pick, but I don't think he's going to be that great for him. I think Ryan Ramczyk and Trevor Penning are be able to handle him, so I'm not worried.
I think he's an awesome pick. He's a freak. He's like 6'7" and like 270. He can play inside, outside. He's awesome. I know there was talks about maybe Houston taking him at 2, right? If they decide to maybe not go QB and they want to go edge instead of Will Anderson, a guy who's maybe more versatile, maybe more upside. I don't know. But Tyree Wilson is a name to watch out for, and that's a great pick for Atlanta at 8. Number 9, the Bears take Peter Skoronski, tackle, Northwestern. I think it's an easy pick for Chicago. I think you look at that offensive line, and I think he's the best offensive lineman in this draft. But I think the versatility too.
Yeah,
I think the versatility too is such a big attraction for teams, right? Because a lot of scouts say, "Hey, this guy could be a Pro Bowl guard and just like an average tackle." Sounds pretty good to me. I think a lot of teams would take an average tackle all day, right? So to have that flexibility, like, hey, I'm a Packer fan. Elton Jenkins, dude plays guard, tackle, center, does it all. Those guys are so valuable. For another guy goes down, injury, you can just plug him in right there. But I like Peter at number 9. I mean, I think it makes sense.
It's too good to pass up on for the Bears,
Yeah, it's just the need. The big edges kind of went already, Yeah. So at number 9, it just seems like a safe, smart pick.
Yeah. At number 10, I'm sorry, fellow NFC teams. The Saints kind of messed up this trade. We kind of sucked after we traded a first-round pick. So Eagles have number 10. We got them taking Bijan Robinson out of Texas, which is going to be a scary, scary, scary offense for the NFC to face. Jalen Hurts, Bijan Robinson in there. That run game with a great O-line still is going to be really hard to stop. And I'm interested to see if they take him. We do also have the possibility to take Paris Johnson. That was one of the spots that they're possibly thinking, but we think Bijan Robinson is too hard to pass up on.
Yeah, we looked at this pick too, and we're like, a lot of these teams too, like they're not really drafting for need. They're drafting for like the best prospect on the
Hmm.
board, right? The most talented. Because hey, you look at these teams. Like I know a couple of these teams made trades into the top 10 and set them up pretty nicely, but like a lot of these teams are not very good, right? So they're going to take the best player on the board, the most talented. And when you look at Philly's in at 8, the defending NFC champions. They're in just win now mode. So you draft for need. If you're in win now mode, you're going to draft for need. They need a running back. Maybe you don't like drafting a running back in round 1. I don't think Philly cares. And I think they take him before anyone else can get to him.
Yeah.
And then number 11, we kind of were surprised. I feel like this is like a Titans pick. I think they looked at the combine and they were like, whoa, this dude's a freak. Look at this upside. Number 11, we got the Tennessee Titans taking Nolan Smith, edge from Georgia. He's a little on the, smaller side. Not really versatile. He's not going to play inside. He's not going to, it's just outside. But
You could play linebacker too, though. You could be like an outside linebacker type guy, but
yeah, outside. But he's not going to
I
play
don't really
inside.
see it happening.
But,
Yeah,
I
no, he's
think
more of
this
an
is
outside guy.
just, I think Nolan Smith is kind of like the surprise of the draft. Like, it's going to be
Mhm.
interesting to see where he goes. Like, I think he's going to go a lot higher than people expect. Like, we have him going here at number 11. But he had an awesome combine, and I think it's part of the reason why he's going to be drafted this high because of that speed at outside backer. But Tennessee, you're in a weird stage, kind of rebuilding. Can't go wrong with a young pass rusher. So,
Yeah. At number 12, we got JSN, Jackson Smith and Jigba, going to the Houston Texans, pairing with his old college quarterback, not even old, same year, CJ Stroud. It's too good of a pairing to miss on for the Texans. This is a team, new head coach, into Nico Ryans, rebuilding the franchise. It's just too good of a pick. I think it'll help their franchise rebuild and also build a dynamic duo to build upon for years to come.
yeah. So, I love Jason. I hope he's a Green Bay Packer tomorrow night.
Yeah,
So I
hopefully
can
he
see you
falls on
get.
more pick for you.
So I can see you guys Monday morning going nuts. Um, I love him. I want him to be a Packer, and I think he could. I think he's there at 13. I think the Packers take him. It's a no-brainer. I like the value. I like the spot in the draft, the need, the player. It just all aligns. I think it's a good pick at 13. And you know what? I mean, could Houston take him to go pair up with CJ? Yeah. Could Houston my thing about Houston though is like, I think they could take a defensive player, a defensive edge rusher, or maybe someone that falls. Like, look at their coach. You know what I mean? D'Amico Ryans. He's a defensive minded head coach, and you have 2 picks in the top 12. You got to think one of them is going to be on defense, and especially on the defensive line. So I think you got to watch out for that.
Yeah, for sure.
But maybe they want to pair them up together. I don't know. Maybe they go a edge rusher at 2 and then JSN at 12. I don't know. Maybe. But if JSN is there at 13, he better be a Packer. But if he's not, I like Dalton Kincaid from Utah. I think he's like honestly, I love JSN. It's tough. I think he's a better pass catcher. Dalton Kincaid.
He could be a
He's a
Travis
bigger
Kelce part
target.
two.
He makes better,
Mhm.
spec catches than JSN. You know what I mean? Like he is he's awesome. He's very athletic. I looked at a number of, sites, PFF, NFL.com. A lot of, a lot of people have him as a top 10 prospect, which I can see after watching his film. He's an athletic freak, big target, makes all the catches. I think his blocking is underrated. His blocking is a little better than people think that he can get away with. But I like him a lot. At 13, I wouldn't mind it. I think Green Bay could trade back to like 17 or in the late teens or early 20s and get him. I don't think they have to take him at 13, but if Jason's not there and we end up with Dalton, I'm totally fine with that and happy. And I think Packer fans should be, and Jordan Love should be.
Yeah, and just to alleviate any like Packers fans' worries that like John's taking them way too early, we did go into this draft thinking no trades. We're not going to do trades because it's going to be a lot more complicated. So this could be a little bit high for the Packers. JSN's not there; they might trade out. I know John's thinking that. So just to alleviate any worries,
But
no
yeah,
trades.
but who knows? Maybe they go tackle, maybe they go edge. So we'll see.
Yeah, a lot of
And
picks available.
maybe a surprise one too. I'm just gonna leave it out there. Packers need a safety. If they really like this guy and Brian Branch, I could see him trending back into like the mid 20s and taking him. But
Yeah, as a nickel.
we'll see.
Yeah, nickel form.
We'll see.
Yeah. 14, we got Paris Johnson Jr. going to the Patriots. We think this is a great fit. Bill Belichick loves. He's more like a fundamentals team. Like that's what they are. Like they want a solid line, solid running back, solid quarterback, solid everything. And so this is one of those holes that could be solidified just a little bit more. Left tackle Paris Johnson Jr. Welcome to the team.
Yeah. At number 15, Jets go right back to tackle. I mean, back-to-back tackles, and they go Darnell Wright from Tennessee. I think when you look at this Jets team, and I think it's a complete team now with Aaron at QB, and I think the one hole is that offensive line.
Yeah, because they have a great defense. Yeah.
And like I said before, I feel like these early teams. I think you look at these teams in Tennessee, Texans, Packers, Patriots, Jets. I think the Steelers at 17 can maybe trade up. I think that's like, after the Bears take the first tackle, I think that's tackle territory. Yeah. I feel like there's going to be a run on tackles. So, and Jets are definitely one of those teams where, hey, they were in the run for tackles. They have the need, good value. So, I mean, it makes a lot of sense. Even if they were at 13, they would still be taking a tackle. So, tackle for the Jets at 15.
Yeah, and then at number 16, Ned Stimson's going to love this pick. We got Michael Mayer, the tight end out of Notre Dame. This guy, John comped him to Jason Witten. He's great all around. This guy can block. This guy can catch. He can go after the catch too. He can run a lot. So, this guy, I think the key to him is his effort. You see every single game, this guy's giving it his all. He's just a football kind of guy, and that says it for itself. It's a great pick for Commanders. They need that. They don't really have a great tight end right now. They have good receivers. They're just missing that for Sam Howell.
Yeah, I like Michael Mayer a lot too, and I've seen him drafted to the Packers a lot. The thing about Michael Mayer, though, I think he's more like definitely complete and well-rounded compared to Dalton Kincaid.
Mm-hmm.
But I think Dalton Kincaid's upside is just way more.
A lot higher.
Like Dalton Kincaid can be an All-Pro in this league. Michael Mayer, maybe a Pro Bowler. Like, you know what I mean? He's just like, he's going to be a great player, but like he's not going to be that pass catcher threat. You know what I mean?
It's almost like George Kittle compared to Travis Kelce. George Kittle's definitely going to be better, like blocker, stuff like, but I mean, that's sort of comparison.
But Mayer isn't that much of a receiving threat like Kittle is. But you know what I mean? Like I don't know how to put it. It's tough to compare him to Kittle, but you know what I mean?
No,
Michael Mayer's going to be good.
Like he's he's got that like stocky build, and Kittle's always put in effort every single play. He's got that low football in him, whereas like Kittle still loves the game and everything like that, but he's not going to be an insane blocker. Like he's not going to go do that for you. But he can do everything else in the receiving game.
Yeah, without a doubt. Yeah. I think these both of these tight ends definitely go in the first round. But yeah, Michael Mayer is definitely the more NFL ready, and I think Dalton's definitely has the higher upside. So at 17, the Steelers. I think when you look at the Steelers, they have two big needs: cornerback and tackle. Right, cornerback and offensive line. They could do a lot of things here. I think they could trade up for a tackle for one of the top ones.
Yeah, get ahead of a couple of those teams.
But I see like where they are right now. Could they go Broderick Jones? Yes, but we got him going Joey Porter Jr. from Penn State, the corner. PA got to keep it in PA. Fills a need. Good young player, and yeah,
simple as that. I think they're a great homer team. They like their picks from Pennsylvania. Kenny Pickett is a great great representation of that. So yeah. At 18, this is a great pick. The Lions, we had them going on defense earlier, like shoring up their secondary a little bit. Now they're going to shore up that defensive line. We got Kalijah Kancey out of Pittsburgh going to to the Detroit Lions. This guy, you see him on film. He's a little bit worried. His arms are a little short. He's a little bit undersized for an interior D lineman. But this guy is so fast off the line. He has such great moves off the line and pass rush. He might not be the best rushing on like run threat, but he's going to rush the passer with great capability. So I think it's a great pick.
Yeah, definitely. Seems like a Detroit Lion, At number 19, we got the Bucks are in an interesting spot, right? I mean, you don't really know what kind of year this is going to be. Could they take a QB like Hooker or Richardson?
Yeah,
Maybe.
Richardson's still on the board. So
I don't think
thinking he could go there, but
I don't think so because I don't know. See what you have in Baker and Task. I don't know.
Here's my thing: they could tank for Caleb Williams. Like they're that kind of team right now that like
they could.
They have the receivers and everything there, but Baker at
true.
quarterback's just not that great for him.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. But I think the Bucks. You don't really know where you are right now as a team. You're sitting at 19. I think you got to take the best player, available, and you can't go wrong with these guys with pass rushers. So I think you got to go Lucas Van Ness. This is a guy that can play inside, outside, can do things on special teams. This year had 2 block punts. Total freak, high ceiling. I don't know how NFL ready he is. Just because, like Grayson said, when we discussed edge rushers, like he didn't even start a lot of games,
Yeah.
But he had the production.
He led his team in sacks, but
even though they're not really like, I don't want to. I mean, he kind of reminds me of like Rashawn Gary, like how he was looked at in the NFL. Like I don't know.
When he's still pinned out, so
you know what I mean? Like just like how like he's very just, he's not really NFL ready. I have to coach him up a little, but extremely athletic, versatile. You know what I mean? You can play around with him. So we got Lucas Van Ness going to the Bucks at 19.
Yeah, and then at number 20, this is one of the most intriguing picks in all of the draft tomorrow night or tonight. We got Anthony Richardson going number 20 at Florida, from Florida to the Seattle Seahawks to sit behind Geno Smith under Pete Carroll's offense. I think it's truly going to be a great scheme, great fit. Geno Smith has a couple more years to him, but this guy Anthony Richardson is young enough. He left like a year early to come to the draft. He's young enough where he's able to sit behind the guy like Geno Smith, learn from him, and then come in league ready and dominate the league with his just physical traits in general. The guy's he's ridiculous in size. I think he's like 6'3". He's huge. He looks jacked. He ran like a 4.4, 4.5. Guy's going to be insane in the NFL if he's coached right. That's the key. So,
yeah, I think this is the best landing spot for Anthony Richardson, right?
Yeah.
As looking at a coach's standpoint, an organization, you got to be in a good organization, as we've seen with the Jets and Giants, right? If it's going to be a mess, it's just going to be shaky. But good structure, organization, coach and Pete Carroll, a really, a good vet to learn behind and not be pushed into play. Like he can sit behind Geno for 2 years. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I think that would be awesome for his development, and that's what he needs. So that's a great pick. At 21, we got the Chargers going Zay Flowers, receiver from Boston College. Yeah, I mean, I could see him going tight end if one of the tight ends fall to him.
Chargers are a wild card too.
Yeah, but I see him getting a receiver threat because Keenan Allen's getting up in age. Mike Williams is injured every game. Get Zay Flowers, who honestly, not at first, but as we got closer to the draft, kind of became like my second favorite receiver in this draft beyond JSN. He's so twitchy and just he's like Antonio Brown to me. Like that's my comparison. Yeah. I love him. If the Packers traded back and got him, I would love that too. But got him going to the Chargers. Good fit. Get Herbert, another weapon. You can never go wrong doing that.
Yeah, and then at 22, another receiver. This guy, I think, in going into the draft, he was receiver one, or going straight out of the season, he was receiver one. And he kind of teams started to recognize this guy was more of a, I want to say just like just speculation kind of guy, but that's what he is. This guy, Quentin Johnston, going to the Ravens at 22. He's a freak. He's a freak of nature athletically, but his production at TCU wasn't great for what he is. So I'm interested to see him paired across from OBJ. OBJ can mentor him. And now Lamar is most likely going to stay in the Ravens. Let's just be honest. I think he's going to stay. You get both these guys and Rashad Bateman back next year. It's going to be a dangerous weapons for Lamar, and that's all he needs.
Yeah, yeah. Number 23, we got the hated Minnesota Vikings. I think the Vikings, I think they could go receiver. I think they look at the board. I think they take, the best player available. And I think that's Miles Murphy from Clemson, edge. You can never go wrong with these pass rushers. I think they go Miles Murphy. They lost to Darius Smith. Yeah, just a good fit for me.
Yeah, of course. And then at 24, another team, the Jaguars, kind of a wild card pick. I see them just going best fit. Just best player available. It's just building on a strength of their team. Not a strength, but they could get better at this position. Safety. Brian Branch from Alabama. This guy could be a great nickel safety. That's what John's picking him as, because I don't see him being a great deep safety. It's not what he was in college. But as a nickel, this guy can be solid in the league, and I think he's going to make a lot of impact plays for the Jaguars.
Yeah. At number 25, the New York Giants select Jordan Addison, wide receiver from USC. I think the Giants, I think they're getting a receiver. We'll see who's going to fall to him. Right here we have Jordan Addison. And yeah, I think they're just looking for that go-to guy. I know they got Darren Waller, but he's gonna, he's still up there in age. I think you get Jordan Addison.
Yeah, and I mean, Jordan Addison is just like, we discussed it earlier. I think it was Ned who said he comped him to Antonio Brown, I believe. And this guy is so good off the line. I think I comped him to Chris Olave once he has the ball. He kind of just glides along the field. Like, he doesn't look insanely fast, but he's fast when he has the ball in his hands. So I'm interested to see how he does for the Giants. Great pick. At 26, we got Jahmyr Gibbs for the Dallas Cowboys. We earlier in the draft process, a guy like Bijan Robinson was getting mocked to them, but at this point, I don't see him falling that far. And with a guy like Tony Pollard coming off of a broken leg, Jahmyr Gibbs is too good to pass up on. I really
they could definitely trade up though. You know
what
I mean?
They could trade up.
If Robinson falls, if Philly ends up taking a pass rusher or a tackle, I could definitely see Dallas trading up because Jerry Jones loves his running backs, and if that's his number one guy, he might go get his number one guy.
Yeah, that's how Jerry Jones is. He tries to get what he wants. So at 27 for the Bills, this is an interesting pick. They could go corner, they could go linebacker. They lost Tremaine Edmonds, or Terrell Edmonds, but they also lost. They didn't lose anything, but they need a solid D line. That's what they need. So Brian Bresee out of Clemson, this guy, you see him on defense in his film. He doesn't have the most production, but this guy's ferocious. Like, this guy goes in, and he's going to give it his all every single play. He has all the effort in the world. Coach him up a little bit more for his production, and he's going to make a lot of great plays for the Bills.
Yeah, and I think he's a versatile guy too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you see him bounce over the line.
Yeah. At number 28, we got Osiris Torrance. I think I'm saying that right. Guard from Florida. I think the Bengals have struggled, with offensive line for the past couple of years. At number 28, the best interior offensive lineman falls to them, and it's an easy selection.
Yeah, and I mean, the two tight ends, like a tight end was another pick that we could have seen him taking, but two best tight ends off the board. Darnell Washington isn't a great first-round pick, so we just don't see him going there.
Yeah, I think tight ends, there's definitely separation in the class, right? There's two first-rounders, and I think Cincinnati gets a tight end, but it's definitely in the second or third round. There's definitely a separation in tiers, from first and second.
Yeah, and then the pick you all have been waiting for, for the New Orleans Saints. Get up,
Skip.
all Saints fans. This is going to be a great pick for us. We need a D lineman. We need someone to plug the holes on the run. We gave up like the most yardage before contact on run game in the run game last year. And a team like the Panthers, a team like the Falcons is just going to get that much better than the run game next year. We need this guy, Mozzie Smith, out of Michigan. A big boy. He's going to be able to plug the holes. He's huge. He's not the best in the pass game, but he still gives you that option. I think it's a great pick with the other guys, kind of all the edges getting taken. John, what do you want? What do you want?
I got a question.
What's up?
Who do you really want, though?
Who do I really want? I want the guy Kalijah Kancey out of Pittsburgh. And you know what? Mickey Loomis came in his presser today for the draft and said, he was asked about how many picks we have. He said, we got 8 as of now. As of now. And this guy, Mickey Loomis, loves to trade. And I proposed this trade with John, 29 and 40 for 13.
Hell no.
I think it's just a great trade for the Saints. I don't know if it wouldn't happen. It wouldn't happen, don't get me wrong. Maybe a first. I think we get a first. And then next year's first, we give that to the Packers as a shot. Maybe a late pick. But the Saints want to trade up. We want to. I think it could be not the Patriots. Maybe the Patriots, maybe the Lions. A team in that teens range right before Kalijah Kancey, they want him, and I think they're going to go after him. So I'm interested to see if Mickey Loomis makes a trade middle of the draft. Saints fans be on the lookout for it.
Yeah. I don't know how far they're going to have to trade up. That trade you sent me in the middle of the day, he texted me from work, hey, what do you think about 29 and 40 for pick 13? I was like, you're out of mind.
Gives you value.
No, it's not. To move up that far in the first round, you're gonna have to give me.
It's prime range for tight ends, though.
You're gonna have to give me a second or third this year, and like a first round next year, and like a fifth round next year. Like that's just terrible value.
I could see us doing that.
I don't think you're gonna have to trade up that. I don't think you're gonna have to trade up that much to get him.
Yeah, no, I think it could be to the late teens though. I think it'll be like 17. I was just saying because I did have that trade I talked to you about earlier, so I wanted to get that out there.
At number 30, Eagles are back on the clock. I think you look at the board and they're like, hey, look at this guy, Broderick Jones, tackle from Georgia. They got to replace Lane Johnson soon. Why not get one of the best tackles on the board? One of the best tackles in the draft that falls to you at 30. I think it's an easy selection for Philly.
Yeah, and then we also talked about possibly Darnell Washington, 6 lineman for them at tight end, but that's not a first-round pick for him, so we're not going to make that pick. At 31 for the Chiefs, we got Felix and Anudike Uzama out of Kansas State. This guy's going to be a dog for them. They need a D lineman. They can always use enough. There's never enough D linemen. So we see him possibly going there. It's a tough pick. All the receivers that we saw could possibly fall in them, like Zay Flowers, if he falls there. They'll 100% take him. But he went earlier, so this is kind of a tougher pick. All right, guys, last segment of the day before we end this episode. We're just going to give you a couple guys that we see that fit great for the teams that we represent. So Saints, Packers. For the Saints, 2 guys to watch out for the second round and third round. Second round, Darnell Washington out of Georgia. If he falls to us at 40, this guy, we're 100% taking him. Great physicality. He's what the Saints want. Great red zone threat. And you can't see him, but I have a Jimmy Graham over here. Jimmy Graham part 2. Watch out.
Jimmy
NFC
Graham
South.
part 2.
Oh, yeah.
You don't know football if you're saying that.
No, he could be. Red zone. I'm talking the red zone. You can't guard Jimmy Graham in the red zone.
And a not blocker.
No, okay. Not in the blocking. I'm talking red zone scheme. You put this guy out there in the fade.
He wasn't even that much of a factor in college.
He's getting coached. He's getting coached. Right. Dennis Allen is going to put the fear into him. And if he doesn't catch a fade, then he's off the team. He's gonna work his ass off for him. Anyways, third round. Okay, Dennis Allen, he's trying. All right, he's trying his hardest out here. Third round, we're gonna take Tyjae Spears. That's pick 71 out Tulane. With Alvin Kamara facing a suspension, this guy he can do it all. Jack of all trades, running back. Sort of reminds me of in Saints fans' terms, I guess Pierre Thomas. I'd compare him to. He could do everything. So compare him to him. Great pick, John. What do you think for the Packers?
Yeah, well, as you know, the Packers now have 2 second-round picks and a third-round pick. It's tough. Like, it depends what we do in the first round. If we take a tight end in the first round, I think this guy's going to be off the board. Darnell Washington, I think he's a clear-cut Packer. They just had Mercedes Lewis for 3 years. They loved him so much. It's like the same exact player, but 15 years younger. What Matt LaFleur loves to do with his tight ends, I think Darnell Washington is a perfect fit. If he's there, they're going to take him. If they don't take a tight end in the first round and they feel like they got to trade up, they're going to trade up and take him. But he is definitely an option in the second round. Another guy I like is Will McDonald, the edge. I think he's a second rounder. I think he could be a late first. I think he falls to the second round. If Green Bay doesn't take an edge, I would love that as an option too. And then just 2 safeties I really like. Well, you know what? 2 safeties I really like. Jermaine Robinson from FSU.
Robinson, yeah.
Oh, Jamie. We're probably not going to get him now, but Jamie Robinson from FSU. I love him. We need a safety. I don't see us getting Brian Branch. I don't see us getting one in the second round. I mean, we could, but I just don't see us taking a safety that high because it's not really a strong safety class. But I think in that third round, you could find something like Jamie Robinson, I love, and another guy from Alabama, Jordan Battle. Jordan Battle could be a steal. I think he's a very good player. So those are my 4 guys that if Green Bay gets day 2, I will be a very happy man. So that's about it, right? That's what we're going to wrap it up right now.
Wrap it up.
We hope you guys have an awesome night, awesome weekend. Enjoy the draft. We hope that your team gets, the player you want, even though it never happens. But, hey, they know more than us, right? Enjoy it. It's like Christmas for us NFL fans. And you got any closing thoughts, Jenks?
Yeah, just tune into our live stream. Jenks and the Hammer live stream during the draft. We'll be watching the draft live, giving your reactions. We're going to try to have fans on from each team.
To react to the picks. I don't know how good the quality is going to be. I don't know.
We'll try. We're going to try it out, guys. Just tune in.
Yeah,
if you don't like it, tune out. I don't care, but we're going to try it out for you guys. Trying something new. Everyone, remember to like and subscribe the video. And if you're listening on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, remember to leave a review.
That's not how you close it out. I'll close it out right now.
That's how you close
it out. All right, guys. Make sure to follow us on Instagram, Twitter, TikTok at Jenks Hammer Pod. You can listen to us on Spotify and Apple Podcast and YouTube at Jenks and the Hammer Podcast. If you're watching on YouTube, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. And it's draft day. Enjoy.
Enjoy, guys. See ya.
Thank you for tuning in to the Jenks and the Hammer Podcast. Remember to leave a review and follow all of our social media pages at Jenks Hammer Pod for more content. Until next time, who dat and go Pack go!